We are right in the middle of the World Series going on right now. As I'm recording this right now, spoilers, Game 4 of the World Series is going on right now, and Texas has a fairly sizable lead over the Diamondbacks, so they could be on the precipice of winning their first World Series in history, which, hey man, good for them. They ended up buying it and still overcoming because they ended up, crafting or rather buying such a depth of talent. And plus, if there was going to be another Texas team in the World Series, at least it's the Rangers instead of just the Astros for what seems to be the seventh time in 10 years or something like that. We're good. We're good. The only year I cheered for Houston in the World Series was back in 2005 when they were squaring off against the White Sox. But I'm already looking forward. I'm looking forward to next year, the 2024 season. Not like I'm going to watch it. I just want to see what ends up ultimately happening with Trevor Bauer. That's the only thing that could spark my interest in anything that's out there. And because I know the roster of the Dodgers, because outside of being a lifelong Blue Jays fan, I've got an affinity for the Dodgers, whatever that's worth. And extensively covering Trevor Bauer's situation over the past 2 years, I just want to see the guy get work again. The claims and the allegations when it all kicked off in 2021, they were sus to begin with, and then they fell apart under just a light amount of scrutiny, so much so that police departments, courts, hell, even friends and family members of Lindsey Hill pointed at those accusations, went, yeah, there's nothing of substance to them, but little old Rob Manlett and the power of the MLB's domestic violence policy went and white-knighted and stepped in and originally handed out a 300-plus game suspension, eventually reduced to time served, which was 194 games, and Trevor Bauer ended up, pitching a wonderful season over in Japan, and then after settling the several civil lawsuits that he had against the Athletic, Molly Knight, the bitch who concocted a tale that Trevor Bauer fractured the skull of Lindsey Hill, even though she had the medical report and it showed absolutely no presence of such injuries. Settled that one to discuss it, and then the one that he filed specifically against Lindsey Hill, settling that one so he could release the video that we talked about last month that further vindicated him. He had more evidence that the Hill camp was keeping out of the courts that would fully and totally vindicate him at the time. That all of that exculpatory evidence just ended up contributing to the overwhelming amount of evidence. Trevor Bauer was targeted. He was the victim in this situation. And it's not so much that he deserves a second chance, it's that he deserves an apology and he deserves to resume his career because, it was just 194 game suspension. Okay, we need to take all of this stuff seriously. We need to listen to all women. We need to investigate all accusations. No. These were lies to begin with. This was a concerted effort to secure the bag by a career liar and serial narcissist. Trevor Bauer's reputation will forever be harmed. He will forever be associated with those provably false accusations by low information people that will just look at him and go, oh, he's one of those guys, he's one of those misogynists that are out there. Whatever team ultimately does end up taking a flyer on him, which I'd imagine somebody's going to because he's still that guy, okay? He won the Cy Young Award in 2021, for Christ's sakes. He was having a hell of a year for the Dodgers prior to his suspension, so yeah. With a tacit endorsement, it's probably a little bit more than just a temperature check by one of his former teammates, what happened to all of those stories from all of those brainlets that were out there saying, the Dodgers hate him, they don't ever want him back. I seem to recall, and you can go back in the playlist that I have on YouTube, or all the videos are up on Rumble. That's one thing that I would like to see over on Rumble. Okay, just get some playlists together, and then I can go and organize everything accordingly. But no. Nobody wants Trevor Bauer back on the Dodgers. He's such a toxic influence in the clubhouse. It's like, no, that really just doesn't seem to be the case. And when all of this stuff first kicked off, it wasn't the Dodgers that put him on leave. Okay, Dave Roberts had full intentions of him pitching his next start. It was Major League Baseball. It was Rob Manlett that came in and said, no, he's on administrative leave right now until this all gets figured out. Yeah, until he has his day in court, until he has all of those allegations examined and exposed for being the lies that they were, for him to go, we need to suspend you. Why? Because she cried. What? Like, it's horseshit. he deserves to resume his career. He's already lost millions of dollars. His reputation will take an immense hit. He won't be getting any more sponsorships, okay? Or at least they won't be at the level that they could be if he had the opportunity to pitch out every single year of that record-breaking contract that he signed with the Dodgers in the offseason in 2021. The amount of money that he lost over the rest of his career, we're never going to know. We're never going to know. He lost 2 years of his prime because we have to believe all women. Unbelievable. But Mookie Betts, the guy who's very likely going to win the NL MVP this year, coming out and dabbing him up, that's a really good sign, man. And the Dodgers, well, one of the big reasons that they didn't end up progressing and reaching the NLCS this year is because, well, they didn't have much pitching. Okay, Walker Buehler ended up needing Tommy Johns, or was he recovering this year or something like that? Realistically, everybody who wasn't, even Clayton Kershaw spent a considerable amount of time injured, or at least they were trying to, maximize him throughout the rest of the year because, well, everything that could go wrong for the Dodgers pitching staff ended up going wrong, but they still were a force to be reckoned with. And then just thinking, if they had Trevor Bauer on their staff, they probably would have ended up doing something pretty tremendous. And Mookie Betts knows that, probably had this opinion the entire time, was probably still in close contact with Trevor Bauer. The moment that everything drops, he just comes out and says what's implied by this headline, the teams should sign a former teammate, Trevor Bauer. He's an awesome guy. You love to see it, man, because, okay, as just a banal statement as that is, it does take balls, okay, because Mookie Betts, like I said, he's very likely to win the NL MVP this year, or if not, be, 1 or 2 behind either Freddie Freeman or who is the cat out in Acuna in Atlanta. He's going to finish top 3, highly likely end up winning, but so he definitely has something to lose by endorsing what a bunch of idiots that are out there. I don't even know if ESPN has even walked back their coverage of he's an abuser. So yeah, this is big news. Former MLB pitcher Trevor Bauer was initially handed down 324 game suspension. Fucking ridiculous. That was reduced to 194 games after allegations of sexual assault. After spending last season playing in Japan following his release from the Dodgers, one of his former teammates wants to see the 2020. I thought it was 2021. I know he won it with the Reds, but whatever. Yeah, the 2020 Cy Young Award winner back in the majors, Mookie Betts, who only played with Bauer for roughly half a season in 2021 before Bauer was placed on administrative leave and then suspended, said the pitcher is an awesome guy and thinks and teams should think about signing him. My experience with Bauer is not anything remotely close to what everyone else's experience is. We haven't heard much from former teammates, and even beforehand, he's just kind of a kooky dude that kind of kept to himself. That's what we knew about Trevor Bauer beforehand. But yeah, now everything over the top of him, he's just a mean man who just beats up women, which is totally and completely false. But yeah, that's not his experience. I love him. I think he's an awesome guy, Betts told the Los Angeles Times via the Associated Press. The personal things, I have no control. I have no say, obviously, and nothing ever came from it. Yo, based! He's not walking away from it. He's like, yeah, all the personal stuff, yeah, there's nothing to that. Fantastic. Great. He's an awesome pitcher. He's a great guy. Somebody who wants to take the mound every 5th day. But at the end of the day, I don't make the decisions. That's a decision that's not as simple as baseball. Because, yeah, he knows there are going to be some goofs that are going to end up just ultimately picketing outside of whatever team signs them. People that are never going to go to a baseball game to begin with, but think that, we need to stand up for all women because, yes, Lindsey Hill, a woman, a former Padres cheerleader who tried to fuck around with Fernando Tatis Jr., ended up targeting, as was reported in those text messages that Trevor Bauer led with in his exculpatory video. She was targeting him specifically. My next target, a high-value pitcher. And who's more high-value than the guy at the time who was in possession of the record-breaking highest-paid annual average per season, okay? Not like overall, like Mike Trout and Bryce Harper ended up signing longer and higher dollar value contracts, but he was slated to earn, $30 million per season? Do you think he's going to come back, okay? Do you think he's going to come back to the majors? Hopefully he does next season because he did nothing wrong and he was, in fact, wronged by the system. You think he's going to be getting a $30 million bill off the rip? No. He's going to end up getting the league minimum and still causing a lot of problems, probably playing for a team, getting signed by a team that probably ain't worth shit on a 1-year contract. maybe with an invite to spring training. Like they will treat him like absolute dog shit, and he's going to have to resuscitate his name, even though he did nothing to besmirch it outside of just fucking a hoe. But yeah, alleged, yes, Bauer did all of those things. Why even print that at this point in time? She lied on the man's name. They just go with that one. Okay, sought a restraining order, but was denied, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like, the bar in order to get a restraining order is so low, and she couldn't even clear that. That was a massive red flag, even after all of the evidence that we looked at. Anyways, Los Angeles prosecutors said in February there was insufficient evidence to prove the woman's accusations beyond a reasonable doubt. Yeah, and they didn't even have all of the additional evidence that further proved that she was making everything up. Bauer said all the accusations between the two were consensual and that the two engaged in passionate lovemaking at his Pasadena, California home at her suggestion, and followed mutually set guidelines in advance, which was further proven by the day after video that she made with him lying and sleeping in the bed right next to her and her not showing any of the requisite injuries. But that each encounter ended with them joking and her spending the night. Imagine that. 27-minute phone call was released earlier this month of the two discussing their encounter, with Bauer offering support. Really? I must have missed that one. The call was recorded by police who were sitting next to Hill throughout. A friend told Hill to secure the bag. That was the text message, after seeing Bauer's net worth of $51 million. Hill also called a star pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers her next victim. Bauer revealed in a video earlier this month the two settled their legal dispute by him being allowed to tell the tale that ended up costing him millions and then ending up slandering his reputation forever. But Trevor Bauer has responded to Mookie's endorsement, and hey man, you love to see it. You love to see it. Trevor Bauer continues to fight for his reputation and character, it's so ridiculous, as the embattled pitcher hopes to work his way back to the MLB. The former Cy Young Award winner has not pitched in the majors since June 28th, 2021, and is looking not only to return to the majors, but also continue his fight to repair his damaged image from something which he continues to claim he never did. What a bulky sentence. Trevor Bauer received the longest ban in MLB history for lies. Fuck Rob Manfred. Now, in the wake of Bauer's lawsuit being settled, other players have stepped up and vouched for the controversial pitcher. What's controversial? Fuck, man, this is like saying, somebody that got beat up is controversial. He's the victim in this scenario. Am I missing something here? Anyways, Bauer's former Dodgers teammate Mookie Betts spoken up, says he's a great guy. Hopefully somebody tries to sign him. From Trevor Bauer's perspective, he knows how Mookie Betts' comments could stir up controversy. The 32-year-old said of Betts' kind words. Looks like they tried to link out to this, but well, the anonymous sources are gonna hate this. Appreciate you, brother, at Mookie Betts, because man, he knows he's gonna end up catching smoke. Mookie Betts is likely, and Trevor Bauer knows this because he's been through the meat grinder over the past 2.5 years, and for Mookie, somebody who's arguably one of the faces of Major League Baseball, to come out and make such what would normally be a banal statement is something that could be seen by certain people in power as being awfully controversial. I'd love to see a reunion between these two guys on the Dodgers, but then again, at this point in time, anybody picking up Trevor Bauer is going to have to go through the ringer by all of the activist classes that are out there. But I'll tell you what, definitely be supporting whatever team does that, because this man, he was criminally wronged. He had his life ruined because of a lying ass fucking hoe. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.